So I want to share two short poems and one song tonight. An old poem that I came across. I recently inherited a computer, and I've been transferring files. And I came across this poem that I wrote so long ago. It's in 8-point type. So here's. And then the second poem is a poem that I wrote this month. So this is the first one. It's called In Loving Memory of Lot's Wife. The cities are falling. I knew they would. Our work here is over. We struggle to walk forward now, one step at a time. I struggle to not look back, one step at a time. One step at a time, everything familiar is calling me. Look here! Look back here! I'm here! Don't leave me! Tricia, please don't leave me here! I try once again to walk forward and yell, then come with me! But there is never a reply. And so I walk forward again, blinded now. Doubled over, struggling, I walk against the wind. I walk against the tide. I walk against the incoming storm. Too many tears blur my vision now. I blink. I blink. I blink. I taste a salty reminder. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. In the distance, I can hear only chaos. So closing my eyes, I walk slowly forward and away. I will not make that same mistake again. And one sonnet that's brand new. I wrote it this month. I'm really shaking too. I wondered, Julie, if it would be better if I sat down. Anyway, this is one that, I think I will. But that will jam up all his careful, thanks. So this is, those of you who know me know how much I absolutely adore sonnets. There's just something about the form. And so this is a new one. I wrote this month. Step by care-filled step, I follow compassion's breadcrumbs. Still stumbling even after all these years, sometimes blindly. Still feeling not smart enough, not brave enough, and all thumbs. But still walking forward, absolutely certain love will guide me. Step by care-filled step, I carry on in the name of love's vision, putting all my faith in the 100th monkey in this human race. Head tucked low, I tiptoe quietly through greed's derision, heartbroken again and again. Sometimes I barely hold my place. Honestly, I didn't think it would be this hard to succeed, but because I really do see the birth of a new humanity, I will use the power of forgiveness to fuel thought and word and deed, healing first my own heart, my own mind, my own insanity, till I can, with compassion, forgive even the vulgar, even the inept. Then, singing my way forward, I will continue to hold the vision, step by care-filled step. Whew, thank you. I don't know why I was so nervous sharing those. Very interesting. So one of the true gifts of this lifetime was in the 70s, I was hired by the Chicago Council on Fine Arts to serve as an artist in residence for their residency program. And I traveled 4 days a week to Chicago area housing estates and 1 day a week to senior centers. And during those years, some of what I did with kids was the housing sites were all kids and their parents. And sometimes we would do music, and sometimes we would share stories, and sometimes I would just wind them up and let them go, because there's nothing quite like a room full of thrilled, exuberant children. And around Halloween, we were sharing stories, a group of older kids I worked with, teenagers, in Cabrini. And this particular group of kids had always lived in these housing estates, and they didn't have experience of door-to-door trick-or-treating. They thought it was something that television made up. And, they still had, they had their school gatherings and church gatherings, and they still had candy and apples, but they didn't go knocking door to door because the communities they lived in, it wasn't safe for them to do that. So I was trying to tell them about my experience of Halloween, and we did go trick-or-treating, and one of the things I decided not to tell them about was my grandmother. My great-grandmother used to tell us stories about her Halloween. And she said what they did was that they would keep track of everybody all year round that was mean to them. And then the night on Halloween Eve, they would go out and steal all their gates and burn them in a big fire. But I didn't tell the Cabrini kids about that. But I did write this song for them about my experience of trick-or-treating. And this has a sing-along part. If you feel like singing, I would love it. You'll catch on right away. And monsters and dancers and things. We'd laugh, scream, jump, smile. On Halloween night, you could hear us for miles. Candy, candy, candy. C-A-N-D-Y, 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 candy, candy. Now that's going to be your part, okay? Candy, 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 C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y, candy, candy, okay? Candy, candy, excellent. Candy, and spell it. C-A-N-D-Y, 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 candy, excellent, candy. Well, there was rain on the pavement and frost in the air. We had cold, soggy feet, snow in our hair. We were wet, freezing. We didn't care because there was one more house way over there that had candy, candy, candy. Spell it. C-A-N-D-Y, 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 candy, candy. Well, I don't want no apples, I don't want no cheese, no pennies, no coupons, and no tricks, please. But if the candy you're giving out is really nice, we're gonna find a way to double back hit your house twice for candy, candy, candy. C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y. it if you can kind of get that deer in the headlights feeling going in your head. So, candy, let's sing it again. Candy, one more time. Candy. Now, deer in the headlights, spell it. C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y. Candy. Candy. Well, now that I'm grown up, I don't trick or treat. I hit the sack pretty early and I watch when I eat. But you know, every now and then life is tough and there are days and nights I can't get enough. Candy. 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 C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y, C-A-N-D-Y. Candy. Excellent. Candy. Now there was years ago when I did this at a gay club, wonderful club, His and Hers, that used to get all kinds of people. They would get people that were family, mothers and fathers and young people and gay couples and straight couples. It was always such a wonderful audience. Well, we did a Halloween show there, costumed and everything. And somebody brought their grandmother. And when I got home, it was her voice on my answering machine. Remember answering machines? And this was her voice. She was singing, Candy, 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 S-N-I-C-K-E-R-S, 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 Candy, Candy, chocolate, candy, more chocolate, candy. Thank you so much.